The Mackie MobileMix is one of the craziest little audio mixers that I've ever seen. This just came out this year, and the standout feature of this is that it is USB powered. Being a USB powered audio mixer opens up a whole bunch of different doors when it comes to using battery banks or other devices to power this audio mixer. It allows you to connect this to a battery powered speaker for a completely off the grid sound system, opens up all types of different doors. In this video, we're going to show you everything that you need to know about this audio mixer while doing a live demo with it. Now, in terms of full disclosure here, Mackie did send me this version of the MobileMix for free. They kind of do this thing with me where they just send me a piece of gear every once in a while. I rarely know it's coming, but I open it, I play with it, and then I make a video of all my thoughts and feelings about it. And that's exactly what this is. It's not scripted. I don't owe them a video. I don't owe them anything like that. But this is just an honest me playing with it and letting you know exactly what I think. Now, in terms of pricing and specs, if you do want to know the current up-to-date pricing where you live in your region this time of year, we do have links down in the description below where you can find current up-to-date pricing from a variety of online retailers to make sure that you are getting the best price possible. Okay, next let's talk about the defining feature of the MobileMix, the fact that it's USB powered. This is really cool. It adds a ton of portability. So let's take a look at what being USB powered means. Let's walk through this. This is a bigger section than I thought when I was doing all my testing. Now on the back of the device, there's a 5 volt and 2 amp USB-C power input. So you can power that, you can connect that to the wall charger and it will power up just fine. On the bottom of the device here, there is a little pocket and you can put a USB battery bank in there. So if you happen to have one of these low profile USB battery banks, it actually works pretty good. You can connect this USB jumper cable that they give you, connect that to your battery bank, then you can put the battery bank in, connect it. There's even a little slot here for the strain relief of the cable so the cable doesn't get mangled. You could put it in like that, close the trap door, turn it over, power button's already on, and this is now powered. So that works really well. Now I mentioned before that there is a power input on the back as well. If you connect your wall charger to this, it won't charge your battery bank. So just keep that in mind. You can't actually treat that battery bank underneath like an internal battery. It's kind of and or type of thing. If I was doing this for real, I'm always paranoid about batteries. Anytime I finish with this audio mixer, I'd turn it off and I'd disconnect the battery in the back. And then when I go to use it, I have the choice whether or not I want to use the wall cable or connect that battery on the back. Another thing I do want to mention is that that pocket that's on the back doesn't fit all types of battery banks. You kind of want a low profile one for that. You can see how this one is designed and fits perfectly there. I have a couple other battery banks here. This one's a bit thicker. It just doesn't fit in the pocket like that one does. Then I have this trash can R2D2 battery bank here as well. Again, this wouldn't fit in that pocket. It's just a little bit too deep. So just keep some of these in mind. The pocket thickness and this pocket thing underneath it, not a big deal to me. I think you can just run it off the back if you have a bigger battery bank that doesn't fit. No harm done there. Okay, next let's talk about all the connectivity options on this before we go through our live demo and set everything up. So on the back of this audio mixer, you can see that you have quite a bit of flexibility here. You have 2 combi jack inputs here. You can, if you're using the 1/4 inch mode here, you can activate instrument level impedance. We'll talk about that when we do the live demo. But just know that you can connect an XLR microphone, a 1/4 inch line level source, or a 1/4 inch instrument to either one of these inputs here. Next, we have channel 3-4. This is a stereo pair. You can, in theory, run 2 different instruments. I get asked this all the time, but you only get one volume knob and it is panned left and right. So if you connect to 3, it'll be left, and if you connect to 4, it'll be right. So it's always best to use a stereo pair here. Next, we have channel 5-6. This jack is not documented very well in the documentation. It combines it with another input it's a little bit different. So for 5-6 here, you get a TRRS input. So you can use the jack, and we'll demo this, to connect your phone to it, and you get stereo from your phone, and it will give you a copy of the stereo mix returning to your phone. So if you are live streaming or something like that, and you're using the proper TRRS cable, you can properly take sound from your phone and or send it to your phone for a live stream. Next, you get two mix outputs. These aren't aux outputs. You don't get individual control over these, but it's just two more outputs on this audio mixer. So if you are recording a remote podcast or something like that with this, everybody would get their own headphone output there. Next, we have the main stereo outputs. These are 1/4-inch balanced TRRS jacks, so you can convert them to XLR. We'll show you how to do that in the demo. All right, next we can do the live demo. So we're going to connect the MobileMix here to the TRRS 212 Go. Since we have that battery bank inside the MobileMix, this is a fully off-the-grid sound system. This is really, I think they designed this for this type of thing, so that's how we're going to do the demo. So I'm going to connect a TRRS to XLR adapter cable. This is one pet peeve about this audio mixer. I wish I had XLR outputs. I'm going to connect this to the main left stereo output. I'm not going to connect a second speaker. I think if we just connect one, that's good enough. Now my cable's not long enough here, so I'm going to use an XLR cable, connect that, and then connect that to the TRRS 212 Go. And then connect this to the 212 Go. I'm going to turn the volume up. So the volume's up there. Next, we need to connect our XLR microphone. I'm going to use a Shure SM58. Seems like the best microphone to use for this type of thing. Make sure my gain's down and everything, and then I will connect that. All right. Now that I have those two connected, I'm just going to hit this power button on the back, fire it up, and here we go. All right, let's walk through the first channel here. So at the top here, you do get a preamp. On small audio mixers like this, I kind of run backwards. I first set the level to 0 or unity, and then I bring up the preamp until I get what I need. So right there is a good enough level. I'm not up at 0 or unity on the meter here, but in the room that I'm on right now, this is plenty. Now we do have a couple switches here. One, if we were using the 1/4-inch input on the back for this channel, we can hit the guitar or instrument button. This would change the impedance of that input to optimize it for a guitar, anything with pickups. Acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar, mandolin, anything like that. Beside that, we have a high pass filter or low frequency roll off. I generally slap this on every vocal microphone, so I'm going to put that on. For Mackie, they set this at 100 Hertz, and it reduces by 18 dB for every octave. What you really need to know here is below 100 Hertz, it starts rolling off pretty aggressively. Next, you get a 2-band EQ. We get the high frequencies here. You can really boost them so you can hear them coming through the speaker, or you can cut them if you want it more muffled. And you have a low frequency roll off, which doubles up on what we already did, or you can boost the low end frequency there. Just getting a little bit of feedback because my microphone's close to the speaker. Below that, we get an effects return knob here. I'm going to talk about that in a second, then our level. Let's talk about this effects engine. With the effects engine, you get 3 built-in effects on this. Right now we're on plate. So if I turn the effects return on this channel, or effects send, I guess it is, up to 50%, and then I turn up the main effects return here, you will hear that plate coming in. So this is the first effect that's built into the MobileMix, which is a plate. I'm going to switch this now. Now we have the hall. This is the second. You can tell it's way longer. Obviously, I'm running this way more aggressive now than I would. Then we get a reverb and delay. As far as I know, I've never found a tap tempo or anything like that in here, but this is how that sounds. I'm going to turn down the return now, go back to plate. One small thing I want to say about the effects, I like this 3-channel effects way more than some of the audio mixers that have 24 in them. The plate, the hall, the delay, and reverb is really all most audio mixers like this need. I love that they narrowed it down to those 3. For channel 3, 4 here, it has that stereo pair on the back. Let's connect this and just do a quick demo while we're here. So I'm going to connect this to my laptop. I'm going to use a breakout cable like this. That'll take the headphone jack out of my laptop and give a left-right input onto the back of the audio mixer. Unroll this cable, connect it to my laptop. Then on the back of this device, I'm going to connect black up top. Red is always right, so red goes in the back, or the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to turn my gain down, turn the level knob down, turn level up to 0 or unity, then hit play on my music from my laptop. And you can see that I really don't need much from this preamp at all to get the music coming through. So that's how that sounds. Now you do still get your EQ on this input as well, and you can add effects to it as well if you want. Let me turn that down. Next, for channel 5.6 here, I'm going to connect it to my phone just to quickly test it. So for me, I need one of these adapters that go from Lightning to TRRS. I'm going to put my phone here. Next, I'm going to grab the included TRRS cable that came with the MobileMix here. I'm going to connect the back to channel 5 and 6. Right there. I'm going to connect the other end to my phone. And same thing, I'm just going to quickly open up Epidemic Sound and play some music. Once that's playing on my phone, I'll bring up that level knob to 0 or unity. And even with the preamp all the way down, since it's technically a line level source, we get tons of level here. So I'm going to turn that down now. Now, like I said, this phone, by being connected, if I switch to the camera app now, it will get a feed from the MobileMix of the main stereo mix here. For channel 7, 8 here, there is Bluetooth connectivity, so you press that button, the blue button flashes. You can see that MobileMix shows up on my phone. I can select that here. Once it's loaded and connected, again, I can go over to Epidemic Sound. I'm going to unplug the cable from my phone just so you know that it is coming out through Bluetooth. Then I'm going to hit play on a different track and bring this up. So now that's it, playing with Bluetooth, which works well. All right, next we have this other input here that's up on the front. This is again to connect to one of your phone. They call this phone 1, they call the input on the back phone 2, which is input 5, 6. It's a little bit confusing, but for phone 1 here, its volume control is up here on the top of the audio mixer. So this is from your phone into the audio mixer. You control that with this knob. And then the level coming from the audio mixer to your phone, you can change whether or not it's mic level or line level. For mic level, if you have it pressed down here, they call it phone and camera. And if you have it up, then it tells you that it's setting line level. By default, the input on the back of this device, that phone 2 one, is the phone or camera level. So it's not setting a line level output through there. It's just a little bit quieter than that. Then we get this balance knob here. If we want to blend between these inputs or what's coming through the phone, so we can take that return from the phone and blend it into the mix here. I just always keep this bent over all the way to channel 1 and 8. I want to hear what's coming through the mixer, not what's on the phone. We already covered the effects engine, the effects level, and then there's our main headphone output for the headphone jack that's located at the top of this audio mixer. Of course, we do get 48 volts of phantom power. If we were using a condenser microphone, you can turn that on. For a microphone like the Shure SM58 here, that won't hurt it, but I will just turn it off for best practice. And then we get our main master level there. Okay, one other thing I do want to point out is that this tray at the top is actually designed for a purpose. You can just put your phone in it like that and it'll hold it, which is actually super cool. You can put your iPad in there or whatever. So if you are doing some sort of remote event and you have your music playback here and you just want your phone front and center, it will hold it. So that's really nice. All right, we're done the demo now. Now let's quickly go through 3 things that I wish were improved on this. First of all, I wish the battery was built into this. If the battery was built into this, they could market it as a battery-powered audio mixer. Instead, they're kind of off in this, it's USB compatible powered audio mixer. If there's a built-in battery, this would be a battery-powered audio mixer. I think that makes a ton of sense into exactly where this fits. You could record a remote podcast. You can do a ton of live event stuff. If you know you just quickly need a sound system or a speaker for a couple hours, you have a battery-powered speaker, battery-powered mixer. This is an awesome setup. I just wish it was all included. So if I take this back to my shop, I could charge it up, know it's ready to go. Now you do get some flexibility with being able to hot swap battery banks, but I would still think that you could connect an external battery bank to it, even if the battery was included. I just wish the battery was included. The next thing is on the output side of this audio mixer, I wish the main 2 TRRS stereo outputs were XLR. I could see somebody taking this setup for a remote event somewhere and they forget their adapter cable, because now it is so common to have XLR on everything. People use XLR to connect everything. Of course, you could use a 1/4-inch TRRS cable to connect this mixer to the speaker, but most people expect to use XLR. I do just wish that they used XLR there. The last thing I want to say about this is I wish that there was volume control for the phone 1 and phone 2 outputs, that return that's going to the phone if you're live streaming. The main stereo output here only affects the 1/4-inch TRRS outputs. If you turn this up or down, it has no effect on the phone outputs whatsoever. So if you're streaming, and streaming is pretty sensitive where you need to, just turn things up a little bit or just turn things down a little bit, you have to individually turn up all your channels or individually turn down all your channels. So I do just wish that there was an output for that so you could set those levels a little bit better. The phone one here has that mixer level or the line level. I do just wish it was a volume knob instead of that. But aside from that, there is a ton of stuff to love here. You get 2 flexible inputs with the combi jacks, XLR, instrument, line level, whatever. You get a stereo pair. You get 2, you could stream or return from 2 phones at the same time, plus Bluetooth. Plus you get these 2 extra mix level outputs here. So if you have extra recording devices or extra headphones or you're recording a remote podcast, you get a total of 4 outputs on this thing with the headphone jack and the stereo outputs. That's a ton of flexibility there. I think the effects engine is absolutely perfect for an audio mixer this size. In fact, I wish that some bigger audio mixers just had one like this. I think the market for this, I think this will hit a sweet spot for a lot of different people. This is the type of thing that audiovisual production companies and DJs will just throw in as a backup piece of equipment because it is so flexible. I think they did a really good job on this device overall. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please do leave a comment down in the comment section below. Again, if you are looking for pricing or specs, we have links down in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.